Hello, my dear students. I'm Shweta Gupta, your English teacher. I hope you all are safe and sound at home. I also believe that you all are watching your video lessons sincerely and doing all your assignments religiously. Well, today we will study Chapter 3 of your English literature book, New Mulberry course book. The name of the chapter is Ashraf's Invention. It is a story written by Fatima Akilu. Before proceeding to the story, let us know something about the author. Fatima Akilu is a Nigerian author. She writes children's books. She is also a psychologist. Some other books that she has written are Timmy's Dream Comes True and Ngozi Comes to Town. Children, do you know who invented the powered aeroplane? Well, it was the Wright brothers. Have you ever thought to invent new things? Let's read the story about a boy named Ashraf who loved to invent things. His imagination is always overflowing with scientific ideas. He had a habit of attempting one science experiment after another, but every time he failed in his attempts. But his failures did not stop him from trying new scientific ideas. Now, this time, he has attempted to invent a plane. Let us read the story to find out whether he is successful in his new scientific adventure. The story proceeds like this. The day began like any other day, except for one thing. Ashraf was in a hurry. He rushed to eat breakfast. He rushed to pick up his school bag and he rushed to get on the bus for school. So, children, the story begins with the daily routine of Ashraf. Like any other day, this day also began in the same way. But there was one difference. And what was that difference? That today Ashraf was in a hurry. He ate his breakfast, picked up his school bag, and boarded his bus. But he did all these things in a hurry, as if he wanted to reach school in a blink of eye. Everything else was happening slowly. He noticed that Ada, the bus driver's foot, barely touched the pedal. Ada was determined to take her time this morning. So, children, what is the meaning of barely touch the pedal? Well, the meaning of this phrase is, in this story, this phrase means that the driver did not make the bus move faster. And what is the meaning of determined? The meaning of determined is that she has made up her mind. The bus driver has made up her mind to take her time. Means she was determined or she has made up her mind that she will not drive the bus fast, but she will drive the bus as carefully as she used to drive. And you know, children, since Ashraf was desperate and eager to reach the school as early as possible, so he felt that everything around him was happening quite slowly. He felt that his bus driver, whose name was Ada, she was driving the bus quite slowly. Although it was not true. Ada was driving the bus as usual and with great carefulness. When Ashraf finally glimpsed the low brown school building, he rushed to the front of the bus. Not so fast, Ada boomed. Wait for the bus to stop completely first. So, children, in this paragraph, what is the meaning of glimpsed? Well, the meaning of glimpsed is got a quick view of something. So, when Ashraf got a quick view of his school building, he just rushed towards the door of the bus to get out of the bus first. But Ada, she boomed. And what is the meaning of boomed? Means she said with a loud, deep sound, warning him that wait till the school bus completely stops. Because if he will be in a hurry, he could have even fallen down the bus. So, the next paragraph goes like this. Sorry, Ada, I need to get to class right away, he called as he jumped out of the bus and ran to his classroom. So, in this paragraph, Ashraf, he said sorry to Ada for being in such a hurry, and then he jumped out of the bus and he straight away ran to his classroom because he was eager to reach to the school. First lesson was science, but Ashraf wasn't listening. His eyes were on the clock. He was waiting for the 11 a.m. first break. So, this paragraph tells us that their first lesson was of science and the teacher was teaching in the class. But Ashraf, he was not at all attentive and he was not listening to his teacher. He was simply waiting for the 11 a.m. first break when he could come out of the class and he could tell his friend about his new invention. As soon as he heard the bell, he headed out to the yard. Hey Eugene, do you want to come around after school to fly on my plane? Well, this paragraph tells us that as soon as he heard the bell of the first break, he came out of the class and started moving towards the ground. Children, here the meaning of headed out is started moving towards. So, as soon as he heard the bell of the first break, he came out of the class and started moving towards the ground. And there he saw his friend Eugene. So he asked Eugene to come to his home to fly on his new plane, which was his new attempt to invent something. So now children, you all must have understood why Ashraf was in a hurry to reach the school, because he wanted to tell his friend about his new invention. What plane? Segan, come over here. Eugene called loudly. Ashraf has a plane. Would you like to go to Jupiter or Saturn? Well, in this paragraph, Eugene was calling Segan, their other friend, and Eugene told Segan that Ashraf was having a plane and would Segan like to go to Jupiter or Saturn on that plane? Children, do you know why Eugene was speaking like that? Because he could not believe Ashraf. And why he could not believe Ashraf, that Ashraf has made a plane? Because Ashraf has done such attempts of inventing new things earlier also. But every time Ashraf failed in his attempt. So this time also Eugene could not believe that Ashraf has really made a plane. Well, let's come to the next paragraph. Look, I promise you that I have a plane. It can seat 4 people comfortably. Come and see, Ashraf persisted. So, children, what is the meaning of persisted? Well, here in this story, the meaning of persisted is continued to request his friends to come home. That is, when Eugene said like that Ashraf has a plane, and when Eugene was not able to believe on Ashraf, then Ashraf told Eugene that he had really made a plane in which 4 people can sit comfortably. And so he kept on continued to request both of his friends Eugene and Segan to come to his home and see his plane. Is it like the time you made a time capsule that could send us into the future? Segan reminded him. I got into so much trouble thinking that I would wake up and find myself 2 grades up. I stopped studying for my exams and got all D's, said Eugene. So, children, in this paragraph, Segan is reminding Ashraf that how they got into trouble when the last time Ashraf attempted to invent a time capsule that could send them into the future. Eugene said that he believed so much on Ashraf's capsule that he thought with the help of that capsule, when he would wake up next day, he would find himself 2 classes higher than his present class. And therefore, he stopped studying for the exam, and as a result, he got D grades in all the subjects. Or is this like the time you dismantled your dad's radio, telling us that the radio frequencies can turn into waves that would make us invisible? I got into trouble for making faces, thinking nobody could see me, laughed Segan. Oh, Ashraf, you just never give up, said Eugene. So, in this paragraph, Segan told about that instance when Ashraf turned his dad's radio into pieces and told his friend that radio frequencies can turn into such waves that would make them invisible. That is, nobody could see them. And believing this, Segan made faces on other people that got him into trouble. But still, they encouraged Ashraf not to get disheartened of his failure but to continue with his scientific experiment. Well, you must come. This time I have found the formula, Ashraf insisted. More like the formula for getting into trouble, Segan said. But I will come just for your mum's delicious chocolate cake. Did you mention chocolate? I am in, Eugene shouted. So, although both of them, that is Eugene and Segan, were aware that even this time Ashraf's new science attempt could get them into trouble, but still they supported their friend and agree to come to his home only if they get to eat his mom's delicious chocolate cake. The friends walked towards the playground to join the rest of the class huddled in conversation. So, children, what is the meaning of huddled in conversation? It means gathered in a close group to talk, often in secret. Means it was a ground near the school building, and all the children were playing outside, and many of them were gathered in a close group just to have some talk among themselves. And quite often it could be a secret talk, as you people do when you are in school, right? During the break time. Okay. Here comes the three musketeers. I wonder what new adventure they are cooking this time. Simon declared. Just ignore him, Ashraf said, and don't tell him about this evening. So, children, through this paragraph, we come to know that all the children in the school were aware that these three boys were good friends and always doing some or the other scientific adventure together. So, when the children saw three of them coming together, they thought that again they are planning some secret adventure. And now, children, what is the meaning of three musketeers? Well, the meaning of Three Musketeers in the story is that it refers to the three close friends in the story, that is, Ashraf, Eugene, and Segan. All the three of them were very good close friends. And what is the meaning of cooking? Well, the meaning of cooking in the story is planning secretly. As we know that all the children thought that these three friends were planning something secretly. Simon, are you coming to see Ashraf's new flying saucer? We can all book where we want to go. I think I like the air in Lagos and the sand in Kano. It's really pretty this time of year. Segan called out. Why did you have to go and do that? Ashraf stormed off, clearly upset. So, children, as we see that Segan revealed the secret of Ashraf, that Ashraf has invented a plane or a flying saucer. Ashraf was very angry because he has warned Eugene and Segan not to tell their plan to other children. But Segan has revealed the secret of Ashraf to Simon. So Ashraf was very angry and so he left angrily. Okay, children. So now here, what is the meaning of stormed off? Well, the meaning of stormed off is leaving angrily. And here, who is leaving angrily? Ashraf. Ashraf, he left angrily from there because he felt very upset as his secret was revealed to other children. I'm sorry, but so many of your inventions and experiments haven't worked out, Segan said as he ran after Ashraf. I thought we were friends. You are supposed to support me, no matter what, Ashraf muttered, still angry. Look, I will be there, all right, Segan replied as they made their way back to the classroom. So, children, in this paragraph, what is the meaning of muttered? Well, the meaning of muttered is said in a low voice. And who muttered? Ashraf, right? And so In these two paragraphs, Segan said sorry to Ashraf for telling his secret to Simon, and then Ashraf told him that he always believed that both of them, that is Segan and Eugene, were his best friends and that they would always support him in his scientific experiment, no matter whether he succeeds or not. Ashraf was secretly delighted that his friends had decided to give him another chance. The rest of the day flew by. That is, Ashraf was very much happy and excited because both of his friends agreed to come to his home to see his new invention. Soon it was time to get on the bus for home. As soon as the bus stopped in front of his house, Ashraf raced inside. He needed to get comfortable seats on his plane for his two best friends. So, children, the moment bus reached his house, he just rushed inside his house out of excitement of showing his new invention to his friends and to make full preparation before they arrived. He went into the living room and grabbed his mum's favorite purple cushions. He needed some string to make sure they were fastened securely for takeoff and knew just where to get it. Dad always had string in his toolbox. So, children, for arranging comfortable seats for his two friends on his flying plane, what Ashraf did, he took his mom's favorite purple cushions from the living room, and for fixing those cushions on his plane, he took the string from his daddy's toolbox. The only thing left was to get some refreshments. Mum's chocolate cake would do nicely, but he needed to find two tables to rest them on. So, children, he searched for two tables to keep the chocolate cake. He remembered that he had a pair of round hats, the perfect place to put a snack. Now, all he had to do was to get his helmet ready and climb into the cockpit while he waited for his friends to arrive. So, children, he was searching for a place to keep the chocolate cake, and now he got the place in the form of a pair of hats on which he kept those chocolate cake. Grabbing his yellow bicycle helmet, Ashraf made his way to the backyard. He took a minute to survey his creation in its entire splendor. Children, what is the meaning of splendor? Well, the meaning of splendor is grand beauty. So, children, what happened that after doing all the arrangement, the Ashraf took his yellow bicycle helmet and then he went to the backyard. Okay, and there he had a close look at his grand, beautiful creation or invention. And what was his creation or invention? Well, it was a flying plane. It was a magnificent, strong body with large, wide wings and solid wheels. He looked around impatiently, wondering where his friends were. Well, so in this paragraph, we come to know about the creation of Ashraf and what was how the creation of Ashraf looks like. Well, it was a magnificent. Magnificent means something which is very extremely beautiful or impressive. So his creation was magnificent with a strong body and large wide wings and solid wheels, right? So now he was waiting for his friends to come. Ashraf, where are you? This better be good. I'm missing watching soccer with Dad for this. Segan announced their arrival. This is going to make your day. Come on over. I'm at the back, Ashraf replied. Well, both of his friend has arrived at his place and Segan was searching for Ashraf and he was telling Ashraf that for the sake of coming to Ashraf's house, he missed the chance of watching soccer or football match with his dad. Okay, then Ashraf asks both of them to come to the backyard. He hurriedly climbed into the cockpit, pulling on his helmet. He wanted to make sure he was ready when they got around the back. He checked the wings and the wheels to make sure that everything was perfect for takeoff. Hurry, he called out loudly. So Ashraf wanted to make it sure that when his friend come to the backyard, he is all set for takeoff. And so he quickly climbed into the cockpit. And children, do you know what is a cockpit? Well, it is a small closed space in a plane where the pilot sits. He also checked the wings and the wheel of his plane and get himself ready for takeoff. And what is the meaning of takeoff? Well, it is the moment when an aircraft is ready to fly. So, Ashraf was also getting himself ready for the moment when his plane was about to fly. Just then, Ashraf heard a rumbling coming towards him. What is going on, Segan, Eugene? He asked in panic. A horde of children were trooping into his backyard, marching towards him. So, children, what happens that the moment when Ashraf was getting himself ready for the takeoff and waiting for his friends to take their seats on his plane, he heard a rumbling. And what is the meaning of rumbling? Rumbling is a low continuous noise. So he heard a low continuous noise, and this rumbling was of so many children, right? This noise was coming because so many of the children were coming towards him. So he saw a large group of children coming together and walking towards him. He asked in panic from Segan and Eugene that why such a large group of children are coming towards him, and why, and children, what is the meaning of panic? Well, the meaning of panic is a sudden feeling of fear that you cannot control. And you know why Ashraf was in panic? Because he wanted to keep the secret of his plane between three of them. And when he saw so many children coming towards him, he was worried that everybody will come to know about his secret invention. So now there were children everywhere surrounding Ashraf, staring up at him. Staring means looking strangely at him. They were all talking at once. Eugene and Segan pushed through the crowd to get a better look at their friend. He was perched high on a mango tree clasping onto a branch. On two branches were two hats with a slice of chocolate cake on each. So children, now when Segan and Eugene reached near to Ashraf, what did they see? They saw that their friend Ashraf was resting high on a mango tree. They also saw that two hats were kept on two branches of the tree with a slice of chocolate cake on each of them. So, Ashraf plane or flying saucer was actually a mango tree. Children, do you understand what was the Ashraf invention? Well, his invention was actually a mango tree. Some flying saucer, the children muttered. It is just a tree. Disappointed, they turned and walked off. So, all the children who came very eagerly and excitingly to see Ashraf plane because they were expecting a flying saucer like something. But instead of that, when they saw a mango tree on which Ashraf was sitting, they all became very sad and displeased. And so they turned back and walked off to their home. Ashraf sat gloomily in his imaginary cockpit. You shouldn't have told everyone. Now I can't go back to school. Not ever, he stated dramatically. Eugene and Segan scrambled up the tree and sat beside him. So, children, now what happened? Ashraf was, when everybody left, Ashraf was sitting gloomily in his imaginary cockpit. It was an imaginary cockpit because it was not an actual plane. It was a simple mango tree. And why he was sitting gloomily means in an unhappy way because his friends have told his secret to everyone and he was feeling very embarrassed and he was thinking that now when he will go back to school, everybody will make fun of him for his failed attempt at making a flying plane. And children, what is the meaning of scrambled? Well, the meaning of scrambled is climbed quickly and awkwardly. Well, after listening Ashraf's words, both Eugene and Segan they climbed quickly and awkwardly up the mango tree. They climbed up the mango tree just to console Ashraf and to encourage him. Well, let's see what happened next. Look, Ashraf, I like all your harebrained ideas, and one day you might build all these things for real. Segan encouraged him. For now, we will help you, but you will need much more than a tree to get to space. So, children, when both the friends saw Ashraf sitting gloomily, they felt very bad for him, and so, in order to encourage him, Segan told Ashraf that he liked all his harebrained ideas. And children, what is the meaning of harebrained? Well, it means crazy and unlikely to succeed. So, Segan encouraged Ashraf by telling him that he liked all his stupid ideas that were likely to fail. But one day he might definitely build all those things in reality. So children, we see that in real sense, both of them, that is Eugene and Segan, were his true or best friends because they always supported him and always accompanied him in his stupid, crazy scientific adventure. And also encouraged him to carry on with his inventions and told him that one day he might be able to invent these things in reality. You two are great, Ashraf said, hugging them. We can look up inventions in my science book and maybe we can start small, like how to boil an egg using heat from the sun. Eugene supported. So, in this way, Ashraf got encouraged by their words, and so in support for supporting Ashraf, Eugene said that they can look or they can do some inventions which are given in their science book, like boiling an egg using heat from the sun. So initially they can start with these simple experiments. Hey, study on, or we will all fall off the tree, Eugene warned. And then Ashraf, you would have to invent an instant parachute to save us. Siegel laughed as the three friends made their way down. So, children, in the end, when Ashraf hugged both of them for their encouragement and support, and at that very time, Eugene warned Ashraf to be careful, otherwise, they might all fall off the tree. And then Ashraf have to invent an instant parachute. And children, what is the meaning of instant? Well, it means immediately. So Ashraf had to invent immediately a parachute to save them. So, on a lighter note, all three of them came down the tree, and in this way, the story ends. So, I hope you all have listened the story carefully, enjoyed it, and have understood the story thoroughly. So now, children, what what is the theme or the hidden message of the story? Well, the story tells us that we should always pursue our dreams or goals and should not get discouraged by the failure. As we saw that Ashraf in the story, he used to attempt one scientific experiment after another in spite of failure, right? This story also tells us who is a best friend. Eugene and Segan were the best friends of Ashraf because, in spite of all the failures, both of them always encouraged Ashraf and also supported his scientific adventures. Now, children, your assignment is that you're going to write down these word meaning in your notebook in a very neat and clean handwriting, and you're going to learn them by heart. Rest of the exercises of the chapter you will get in the assignment which is given to you in the PDF form in your WhatsApp group. Thank you, my dear students. Stay home, stay safe.